reason why you're going to be successful is because you care. You care. You're constantly trying new things. You have like a tenacity, a resilience to win. So these are all positive qualities. So if anyone has ever told you that you overthink and stop doing that and trying to give you a hard fucking time about it, don't listen to them. This is one of your strengths, and this makes you strong. So just make sure that no one ever tries to convince you otherwise, because they're full of shit and it's not true. All right, let's move on here. Holy Kimberly, did you write all this? Holy, are you here?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Wow, geez, I'm gonna need a timeout before I get through this question.
I know. I even put long story short and then I typed the whole thing. And
I love when people say long story short and then it's like 10 times longer than if they didn't say that. I do that too. So we're basically the same. It's all good. All right, let me try to get through this. So I'd like to hear your advice on trusting the process versus when to pivot marketing strategies. Long story short, there it is, everybody. There it is. I've been in the biz for over 5 years. Awesome. You got your training wheels on and just about to take them off. So that's great. And during that time, I've tried pretty much all the things: Facebook long story ads, Instagram swipe up ads, type form ads, organic marketing, email marketing, create my own webinar, offer live training, lead calls, heck, even cold messaging my followers. Amazing. Good for you for not giving any fucks and just doing all the different things. That's perfect. I've had some success with all of them. Amazing. So I've learned that all strategies work. Yes, you did. But at the same time, when they don't happen as quickly as I think they should, or if I decide there's something I don't enjoy about it, I find myself pivoting to a new strategy. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute. This past year, I realized that this could be a form of self-sabotage. Okay, and that I needed to trust the process. So I've been focusing on keeping it simple and sticking with what seems to be working for now. But at the same time, I keep getting inspired to try different things. For example, last call, you mentioned creating a free lead magnet to then get people on your email list and to a webinar. And I've been wanting to try something like that. So I took it as a sign to do it, and I'm working on it now. But then I start to question if I'm doing it again, self-sabotaging by pivoting too soon rather than trusting that the ads and webinar that I'm currently using are working and will continue to work if I just let them run longer. Would appreciate your insight on this, or is this me overthinking everything? If you can't tell, I have a tendency to do that. It's all good. This is good. I think the reason why you're going to be successful is because you care. You care. You're constantly trying new things. You have like a tenacity, a resilience to win. So these are all positive qualities. So if anyone has ever told you that you overthink and stop doing that and trying to give you a hard fucking time about it, don't listen to them. This is one of your strengths, and this makes you strong. So just make sure that no one ever tries to convince you otherwise, because they're full of shit and it's not true. But anyways, besides that, the way we want to look at this, all the stuff that you listed off here, right? Story ads, Instagram ads, type form ads, all this stuff. Think about your business as building digital assets. Okay. If you built these things, that means you still built them. They're still a thing. You can still leverage them. You don't necessarily have to leverage them all at the exact same time where they're competing with each other, but they can actually complement each other. When you look at some of the most successful online marketing businesses or people or whatever, they have multiple ways of generating leads. They have multiple ways of generating sales, not just one way. So the fact that you've explored all of these things is a good thing, because you can ask yourself now, what did you enjoy the most? What was your funnest, most favorite way of doing it? Is there one that sticks out to you, like just first thought?
I mean, I really like conversion ads and email marketing I like the automation kind of stuff. I feel like, I mean, I can do DMs and all that stuff and lead calls, but I don't know, it's not necessarily my favorite thing. I guess it's just like draining. It takes a lot of time. And so I'm like, I really like automation. I was a former engineer before this. So I think anything like technical, I kind of am drawn to, I guess. So I would say, yeah, conversion.
Perfect.
Like that. Yeah.
So that's what you're going to make your thing. That's it. Everything else was experience. It was good. It was fun. You got some results. You got some sales. All good. It just is part of your experience bank of like, I've been there, done that, 5 years under my belt. Like I said, training wheels are coming off, and you can now come from a position of strength, because if you wanted to hire somebody for any of those specific things, you can actually go like, I know how to do it. Don't try to bullshit me. You know, like you actually come from a position of strength, which is really good. Which is why I said a second ago that this is a strength quality of yours: exploration, trying new things, not getting stuck in a box. The self-sabotage thing, I feel like isn't maybe, but I think that if you decide to own it, for example, like if you go, I'm going to own conversion ads, I'm going to own that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from now on, you own it, and you don't get distracted, you don't do something new in like a few months or 6 months or something like that, and you don't fall into that trap, then it wasn't self-sabotage. It was exploration. If you do decide I'm owning conversion ads and a little bit of time goes on and then you repeat this pattern, then I would say it might actually be self-sabotage.
Okay.
That makes sense? So this is how you can test it.
Okay.
If you just fully go in on this now and you don't care, then it was great. You just explored and you found the thing that you love. So with that being said, the constant with the conversion ads is ads themselves. And the ads are going to give you data. They're going to tell you whether something's working. They're going to tell you whether the lead cost is where you want it to be or the conversion cost is where you want it to be. And technically, a lot of these things where it's a lead magnet, it's a webinar, these are all just ways of creating conversion ads. And so you could possibly have multiple variations of conversion ads. And you could also explore like the retargeting pixel, which someone like yourself, the way you describe yourself, you're going to love that. Because what you do with the retargeting specifically that most people don't quite wrap their head around it is you're curating an experience for your audience to be fed specific content in a specific sequence. So if you were to go on a date, you know, just using that analogy, would you tell the person you're on a date with things about yourself and about your life in a certain sequence where some things would make more sense to start off with than others? Like you're not going to start with your deepest, darkest traumas on the first date, right? That's probably going to be a little bit weird. You're probably not going to have a second date. Maybe it's the perfect reason to come back and like, all right, yeah, let it all out there. Great. But it depends on how you approach things. So what's really good about the retargeting pixel is you can literally create content, whether it's a lifestyle piece with yourself, your family, traveling. You can curate a video, edit it all nice, add a little music, put a little text on it, or a graphic with a quote. You can do whatever, and you can set it up as a retargeting pixel. So as your ads are coming through, it might start with a conversion ad. They don't opt in, they don't watch the webinar, but they clicked on it, so they got pixeled. And now you have a 180-day follow-up strategy of them seeing a little bit about your life, a little bit about this, some value things, some tips, and it's all curated in advance strategically, like an engineer would do it. Where you know they come in your world, they're going to see this over the next 180 days. That's your thing. Okay. You do that, off to the races, you're going all the way to the top in a way that you love, because you love automation, you love the technology and the technical stuff. And when it comes to like DMs, the only thing I would suggest is add in ManyChat. ManyChat.com, because it is DMs, but it's automated, and you're going to love the techie side of it, and you're going to set it all up, and it's going to be epic.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like, yeah, I've been thinking like I need to, because I've been doing a lot of messenger ads recently, because I thought like, oh, I should do this. And I don't know, I was like, am I pivoting too soon? But I think I have done it long enough where I could call it exploration. So I feel like just you saying that, I'm like, okay, I've explored this long enough. I'm going back to automate, or I'm going back to conversions and type formats and that kind of stuff. So anyways, I feel like you just kind of validated what I've been thinking.
Perfect. Sometimes that's all I'm here for. some of the times I share people like, yeah, I've been thinking that. It's like, I just needed to hear it. I'm great. Awesome. But that's definitely my intuition was telling me when I read that, is that you went through this exploration phase. I can tell you still have enthusiasm. You're still excited. You're not discouraged or any of that stuff, which is the reason why I feel like it isn't self-sabotage, because you got this like this this energy about yourself that doesn't sound like a self-sabotaging energy at all. But you just need to pick your lane and own it. And then when you're building out any sort of lead magnets, PDFs, downloadable things, web classes, those things that, take time to put together, record, whatever, think about it as a digital asset that you can continue to test different conversion ads to, because some people are more attracted to watching a web class versus a PDF download and vice versa. So you have multiple tools in your toolkit. You're doing different split tests. You see all the data and the metrics. Then you add in the nurture sequence, which is all a curated sequence of videos, graphics, stories, whatnot that they're going to see because it's actually a retargeting campaign. And that would be, you're going to find your groove, because the thing about all the organic stuff is it's a testing ground. That's how most of you need to start looking at your organic stuff, is if you're posting organic. Let's say you have a weekend with your family, right? And you take all these little snippets, like make your own reel, right? Like kind of like a highlight of the weekend, and say little snippets at the park, this, that, go out for food, whatever. It doesn't matter. You just had a great, awesome day. And you put it as a reel, and it gets tons of comments and like, wow, that looks like so much fun, and this, that, whatever, right? It's like the marketer engineer mind goes, great. I'm going to pull that reel. I'm going to put it in my retargeting sequence. And now every single one of my leads for sure is going to watch that reel, instead of it getting drowned out in my news feed because I keep posting new content and new content and new content, right? So you test it in your organic way, because your audience will let you know, hey, that was awesome, man. Like, I feel like I really felt that. It was emotional. I got to know you, or I learned something, or you made me laugh, whatever. And then you go, great, that's something that I could pay $1, $2 a day indefinitely to make sure everybody sees it from now on. And that's how you're building this asset library. And over time, by the end of 2023, you're going to have so much incredible content that you've made slowly but surely over the year, that your retargeting 180 days is like, it's all of you, in no holding back, a little bit of life, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, talking about your business, talking about how you help people, case studies, testimonials, like it's all encompassing. And you're giving them 6 months to decide whether or not this is for them to take the next step. And if not, all good. You'll find your people as you keep testing your audience and so on.